Welcome. Every person, one time or another, is going to have some type of neck problem. Discomfort, muscle spasm, decreased mobility, pinched nerve, disc degeneration, arthritis. This is how I am sitting, the way the spine is sitting. We are sitting the same way. Here's the front of our face, and here is behind our head. But what we're going to learn today, we're going to learn how to have or keep a normal curve in our neck. This problem of looking down, just like this, like I'm doing right now, is our biggest issue because of the smartphone, our computer. Posture is so important. So, the majority of people have what we call a military or a straightening of our curve. This is a normal cervical curve. A cervical curve means a C-shaped curve. The front of the head, here's the occiput behind our head here, and the curve should go inwards. But in many of us, this curve becomes straightened out over time. But what happens is, as this curve from point A to point B, like this, if this gets straighter, watch my fingers, it has to stretch longer. So now we have the weight of the head up here, which weighs about 12 pounds. That weight is compressing down on the discs. You see, the purpose of having a curve is that the weight of the head can be equally distributed throughout the vertebrae, the 7 cervical vertebrae in our neck, which is the purple here. And when that curve becomes straight, the weight bearing comes off the back of the joints, and all the weight then starts to occur in the front part of the vertebrae on the discs. So as a result of that excessive weight, the body goes through degeneration, thinning of the disc, extra calcium being put in the vertebrae, around the joints, spurs. We call these syndesmophytes when they're really more severe. But the bottom line is the articular cartilage, the bones start degenerating. And as it degenerates, we start having involvement on these nerves right here, these yellow nerves that come off these holes, come between the holes, called the intervertebral foramen. And when this happens, this needs to be addressed right here. So what I'm going to teach you today is how you can help get that curve back, help sustain that curve, and help prevent that degeneration so you can feel better and have a normal life where you're not going to have to suffer in pain. What's beautiful is that all you're going to need here is a towel. But I'm going to show you 3 specific things that you can do at home right now to start making this change. So, if we look at anatomy, we have what they call vertebral prominence. It's a fancy word. If you count the vertebrae here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cervical vertebrae. The last cervical vertebrae is usually the largest spinous process. These are called the spinous processes. If you take your fingers and put it behind your spine, go ahead and push down. As you push down your mid-back and come up your neck, you feel those real pointy things. Everyone, you need to do this. Feel those pointy things. Those are called spinous processes. And here's why it's so important, is that the vertebral prominence is the most prominent spinous process, usually around C7, the lowest cervical vertebrae in the spine. So what I want you to do is take your hand, go back a little bit lower between your shoulder blades, as far as you can reach. You feel how it's all pointing out. You're right about here. And I want you to slowly come up, and you'll feel a real large one. And right above that large one, which is going to be right here, the lowest cervical spine, okay, which is here C7, this is usually the vertebral prominence. But that vertebral prominence that you're feeling right now, go right above it. And this is what we call C6, okay, the 6th cervical spine, cervical vertebrae in the spine. So here's what I want you to do. When you come up above that vertebral prominence, which is C7 right here, here's C6, as you extend backwards, you'll feel the vertebrae disappear. You'll feel that spinous process as you lean back like this starts to disappear under your finger. So let's go back up again. Feel it where it's really pointy, lower part of the neck, and go right above it. Hold that point and lean back. And just take your fingers and lean back. And the first vertebrae, the lowest vertebrae that you feel disappear, that's going to be our magic vertebrae that's going to help your curve. So we're going to take a towel and we're going to specifically focus in this area so we can get this movement back to prevent degeneration, to get that range of motion, to take away your pain. And many of you who are suffering with chronic pain, spasming, stiffness, pinched nerves, this can be a miracle for you. So I want you to get a large towel. And we're just going to fold it about 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Only about 3 times. Bring it over your neck like this. And I want that right above that vertebral prominence, that vertebrae that's not moving. You're going to take this part of the towel just like this and be right down in there. And you're going to take your hands, you're going to push forward and down 45 degrees and lock it out. Pull that towel forward. And that piece should be right in that lower neck, right where that area disappears. Here's what I want you to do. Pull down and forward 45 degrees and come back. Wow, feels real good. You're going to hold it about 10 seconds and release. Pull down and forward 45 degrees. Pull that towel forward and go back. It's going to fit right in that notch, right in that C6 area, right above that vertebral prominence, that large spinous process, and come back. Push down and forward 45 degrees. Push down and forward, come over. So now you got the hint. You're going to do 20 repetitions, holding for 10 seconds. That is the key. When you do it and you pull, it feels better and better as you continue to do it. If it hurts you, do not pull as tight and do not go as far over as the towel, over the towel. And you will be able to, because a lot of you are going to be stiff and have other neck problems. But if you have an issue going too far back, just do your best. It may take a little time to increase that mobility. So after this, I want you to continue to roll it up a little bit more. Make it a little thicker. And as you make it a little thicker, this time we're going to mobilize the whole entire neck, not the whole towel. About half of it rolled up, come over like this. It should fit in the mid part of the whole neck. And this time, do the same thing. You'll feel more movement throughout the neck. Okay, 10 seconds, come back. You can turn to the left, you can go back 10 seconds and come back. You can go to the right, 10 seconds, and you'll come back. I want you to do that just for a few minutes to mobilize everything else. Now, the purpose of moving that lowest vertebrae, that first technique, is that everything sits on it. So when that vertebrae starts to move backwards, it affects the other vertebrae above. So that's why I want to focus on that lowest vertebrae that disappears, which is usually your 6th cervical vertebrae. And lastly, a great mobilizer. You can do this on the edge of your bed or the edge of a couch, whatever is easier, but I still want to use a towel. So you're going to go on your back and put it underneath your whole entire neck area. Again, we're pulling forward if we need to, but this time I want your head to come over the towel, just like this. And what you can do is you can slowly lift up with your arms as you apply counter pressure, pushing upwards as your head's going back. You're going to hold this about 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, you can release it. Again, let your head fall over. You could be the edge of the bed, edge of a couch. Use the towel. Pull upwards, increasing that cervical lordosis. Oh, wow, it feels real good. Taking a lot of pressure off. And these muscles attached behind the skull, you could be having headaches over the head, behind the eyes, the greater occipital nerve. This is delightful. Relax it. And you can do this for about 3 to 4 or 5 minutes. You'll do the best that you can do. Start out very light, even if it's 30 seconds, a minute. Gradually work up over time. As you have degeneration in the neck, it's a condition that requires time. The muscles have to readjust. Things have to heal. Inflammation has to come out. You can use an ice pack on there if it's inflamed after. But very important, when you're looking at your smartphone, don't put it down here. Put it out in front of you. Try to jut the chin down if it's down here. The less you bring your head forward, the better off you're going to be. Remember, the head weighs 12 pounds. And for every inch we go forward, it's an additional 10 pounds that the ligaments, muscles, and vertebrae have to hold up. So look at the good biomechanics. Ears over the shoulders. Try to keep this away. Jut the chin down and bring it up. Very important. When you sleep, sleep on your back or your side. If you're on your back, remember, not those high pillows. Try to keep your head as level as you can with the spine, as well as on your side as well. So please practice these techniques. They will make a big change with your neck condition. Take your time. Don't rush. Give it a little time. And you'll see in no time how much better you're going to heal. Please share this with your friends and family. Leave your comments below. And most important, make it a great day. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell.